This is the Newsload.
Hi, I'm Carrie Stevenson. I am here with Newsload, and I am so beyond excited today to speak to DK Phan. Hello, DK. How are you?
Hi there, Carrie. I'm good, thank you. How about yourself?
I am wonderful. It's a beautiful sunny day, very hot, loving it.
hmm
So, you're in Toronto right now, eh?
Yes, that's correct.
And how is the Toronto comedy scene for you?
You know what? It's constantly going through some sort of change. I mean, it was very different from when I started 15 years ago, but it's just updating with the times. It's always different. I think now it's I'm not gonna say busier than ever, but it seems like people are understanding their worth a lot more, which I think is good for the community.
It is wonderful for the community. I do find that comedy is sort of a cheaper production than,
Mhm.
say, a band or a play or something because it's just one person. So
Yes.
I do find that a lot more bars and a lot more clubs are understanding that
Mhm.
comedy with low expenses, and you can still sell the tickets for 20, 30 bucks.
Yeah.
There's definitely more reward for paying one guy instead of a whole band of five.
Mhm.
It's definitely in the booking situation. Comedy, I feel, is getting more popular on that level.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of. I feel it's going to recorrect itself. Before, I would find that a lot of comics would undervalue themselves, so there was a lot of like free shows and stuff like that, which is fine, especially for open mics and for comics who are just starting out. But I'm noticing now that there are some shows that may be overcharging for the caliber of talent that they have on there, which I mean, sure, everybody has their own sense of self-worth, and it's great for them, great for everybody who's charging. And I've done the same thing before in the past as a mistake as well, realizing that like, oh, maybe the people on the show are not as strong as the ticket price that I can charge and so on and whatnot. But as you move up, you start to understand things a little bit better. It's a bit of a growing pain at the end of the day. Stand-up is kind of like running your own business, and you just have to understand the value of your product and know how to, at the end of the day, make sure that we don't damage the comedy community at the end of the day. So if you're overpaying for a bad show, that scares off customers. If you're underpaying for a good show, people see the value in it, but then like it devalues the whole comedy scene as a whole. So it's a weird balancing act that we all as a larger community dance on.
And as well, is it better to charge cheaper tickets and fill the room?
I would say yes. As long as people keep coming back, I think that's great. But at the end of the day, the last thing we want is for bookers to be underpaying comics when the budget is accommodating of giving them what they are worth, right? So I'm not going to expect out of a 30-person room a grand. Uh, just mathematically, it's not going to work out. But and a lot of the times at the end of the day, we're doing it for love. I like to tell people I do stand up for free. You pay me to travel, or you're paying for the time for me to be away from my wife, but I love what I do at the end of the day.
Speaking of wife, you are a little bit of a unicorn of being a married comedian. How is that working out?
It's not without its own set of conflicts and stuff like that. My wife, she is a 9 to 5 office worker during the day, and I work nights and weekends, like a 90s phone plan. So I have to consciously make the effort, or we have to consciously make the effort to set apart time out of our day, our month, or week, and so on, and make sure that we're giving each other quality time. So I try my best, unless somebody pays me an exorbitant amount that I can't say no to. I'll try to set aside a weekend each month so that we're spending quality time together. We're taking a little date night out. We're getting some air and stuff like that, spending time with our family. And then just little nuggets of time here and there at the end of the day. So we try whenever we can to make sure that we have dinner together and not, unless it's like an important dinner that I have to have with someone else, I'll try to make sure to schedule things either before, cut it off at dinner, or after dinner, and then go out so that we at least can catch up on our day together and have some time with each other during each day to make sure that we're not neglecting each other.
Do you cook?
Yep. So because I work, because I'm at home during the day, I think it's just easier for me to cook. And then when she comes home, it's generally a nice, well-prepared meal, unless I'm swamped with auditions or work that day, or you get lazy sometimes. I'm not going to claim to cook every day because yesterday we just got takeout.
Yeah, and takeout and Uber Eats and pizza are beautiful things, to be able to both just chill.
Yeah.
But my gosh, you sound wonderful. You cook, you're funny. She's a lucky gal.
I try, yeah. I mean, I'm lucky in the sense that she holds down the fort, especially during the summer months when comedy slows down a little bit. It's nice to know that she's got my back and she's not going to judge me if I'm not having a great month. And recently, she's been crocheting. I wonder if I have a sample of it somewhere. She's been crocheting my merch. So, typically as a road comic, we're not spending time together that much. And she used to feel lonely, or it used to create a little bit of friction within a relationship. But now that she is taking a more active role, I guess, in the comedy business, now she's a little bit more excited when I'm hitting the road because she'll be very curious as to like, oh, what's sold? What's a demographic of people who are buying this merch? Oh, what items are going? And then she can kind of it's kind of like her business within my business. And I think it
Is
kind of
she
worked out.
crocheting like little voodoo dolls? Like, what is she?
I can fetch one here. Give me a second.
That is wonderful. She sounds like such a supportive and wonderful wife. And, that's very, very cool.
Yeah, I think I lucked out a little bit. So I have a joke about mushrooms and another joke about cats. So we make these little mushrooms here. Or if you're a little bit racist, you can flip the cap up and then they become, little dudes with sombreros. And her Instagram is Knots and Beans. So that's kind of like what she's crocheting under. We also do these. They're called lazy government workers, but they're cats. So you'll just have to catch one of my shows to understand what the joke is behind that. These guys go pretty quick. Super wholesome, very different from people's typical merch, and definitely keeps us kind of like more connected even when I'm away.
For sure, for sure. Being able to call her after the show and be like, oh my God, I sold 30.
It's usually, well, anything I sell, the cost is one hand massage. So the more I sell, the better of a pampering she gets when I come back home. Um,
Oh my God, he massages too. He cooks, he tells jokes. My gosh, you're
I'm not an
wonderful.
RMT, so they're not good. They're probably bad massage. If anything, I don't think she likes the massages.
But they're necessary because like it's a lot of work to crochet, so like it's
Yeah.
it's crampy. That's wonderful. I hear you're into taekwondo as well, so a little self-defense for her too.
My family used to own a kung fu school, so I just kind of got roped into the family business since I was a child. And then we closed down the school in 2020, but the background's still there at the very least.
And you still can like Jackie Chan yourself out of a situation, eh?
That's questionable. I mean, I'm not fighting on a professional level. If anything, I'd rather just make them laugh and then run away in one piece.
And that's the defense mechanism, eh?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm not encouraging our fans to pick a fight with you or anything, so
Oh, please do.
that's very cool. Have you noticed with your comedy sketches, uh through Second City and such, the sort of improv and the sort of physical mannerisms, did your taekwondo have anything to help with that?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Thank you.
Well, I used to teach to little kids, so there's definitely some bits about working with kids in there and the Kung Fu school and such. In terms of the physicality, that's a good question. I think maybe on a subconscious level, it helps with my movement on stage. I know that I took dance when I was in my early 20s, like a lot of salsa dance. I noticed that like that really helped the stuff. there's a sense of rhythm, I guess, to martial arts and movement, and like that comes out a lot more in, say, acting or voice acting. And I've noticed every artistic discipline you take, martial arts also being an art, can affect the other ones. So, um, yeah, I guess I probably do move around a little bit differently on stage than like a standard comic. There's a lot more hand movements, and I've seen people take shots of me on stage where I look like I'm in the middle of a kung fu pose, but it's really just how I look when I'm explaining things. But it
Because it's
does help.
practically muscle memory, right? Like you train for hours and hours, and then all of a sudden, like the pose is there.
Yeah, yeah, I guess it does kind of affect the movement. It definitely affects how I move. Weirdly enough, if I'm in the voice booth, it affects my movement because you move a lot when you are voice acting, and I've noticed that voice acting also affects how I do stand up ever since I started training in that. So it's been a pretty cool journey.
Yeah, because you want to get into character and it sort of motivates you in voice acting to be able to, do that. Very, very, very cool. Have you had any celebrities that have left you starstruck that you've run into?
Ooh, you know what? I don't run into that many celebrities when doing st I see a lot of like other friends and they got pictures with Colin Mockery and they've opened up for really cool people. I don't think I've opened up for anyone like particularly recognizable. I did get yelled at in a green room by Bobby Lee once, really. I think like maybe my first year because I was an idiot about it. Um, he was playing Yuck's Ajax when there's still an Ajax Yuck Yucks club. And I showed up. I was unemployed at the time, so I had just gotten laid off from a tech job. I figured, yeah, you know what? I've got some savings. Let's go see Bobby Lee. And as a baby comic, so I don't even think I was a year into it yet. So just an open micer at best. I showed up on a Sunday of a 3-day weekend show. So like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And obviously he's gonna book the people who are opening up for him way in advance. I showed up on a Sunday 10 minutes before the curtain, uh, barged into his room, and I was like, "Hey, can I open for you?" And he was like, "Yeah, just step into my room, close the door." And he just berated me. I was like, "What are you doing, you idiot? Like, you don't show up 10 minutes to the end of a football game, ask to be the quarterback, and get away with it." And he just let me have it. At the time, it felt really crummy, but if I was in his position and someone did that to me at this point, I would probably do the same thing. It's kind of like who do you think you are? What are you doing? There's no professionalism there. Get out of my office, kind of thing. And you learn these are lessons I think everyone needs to learn on the way. Because stand up, even though it's very like a kind of like a ragtag bunch of misfit toys just running around telling jokes all over the place. There is still a level of professionalism that needs to be involved in doing stand up. So just even right down to asking for spots and emailing and stuff like that, having a corporate background really helped to kind of like once I got finished being yelled at by Bobby Lee, just kind of propels you forward a little bit and teaches you at least how to communicate when you're off stage and stuff. So um,
Absolutely. Sometimes the stumbling and the pratfalls and the mistakes are where you learn the most. There are that's a fabulous lesson. And Bobby Lee, hey, that's pretty cool.
I mean, he was gracious enough to let me hang out, I guess, at the comics table after. I had no business being there, but I got to hear all the cool stories. I had nothing to contribute because I'm like 9 months into comedy, barely have a 5 minute set. Yeah, like I thought I had an hour, as every open micer does 6 months into comedy, but you look back and you're like, all of the jokes I told are terrible. Yeah, it was a good learning lesson, and it's just, one of those stories where you hold it, it's part of the career, it's part of your personal lore in stand up. And
Absolutely. And you have to work on your ego and you have to almost meet, the big time to know that you're, like not there and you have like a long way to go. Because how long has Bobby Lee been in the business? 30 years?
oh God, I think he's been in it as long as I've been alive, maybe
Yeah.
less, but oh,
Yeah.
forever.
He's aged well.
Yeah, as we Asians do. It's the snails that we rub on our face and the Korean moisturize and all the good stuff.
The good genes, the good
Oh, yeah.
genes. And all the stereotypes, that you were tech support.
Yeah, yeah. I had an IT background out of school, had a bunch of IT jobs. So I'm pretty good with you know what? No, that's a lie. I'm not great with tech anymore because I'm hitting that age where like a 12-year-old has to show me how to use Instagram properly. I never thought I'd see that day where I'm the one being like, "Can you fix my printer? It's very difficult." And they're like, "Oh
Yeah,
my God,
exactly.
Grandpa."
Yeah, I hate getting a new phone because I feel like I'm working with a brand new form of technology. There's all these sorts of, new things. And I have an aunt who's in her 70s and she's so sweet. She's like, how do I turn the ringer off? And I was like, there's an icon with a speaker. You just
What's an icon? I can't find it. I get it.
So do you have any favorite stand-up memories in your 15-year career?
Oh, favorite stand-up memories. That's I'm always bad at these questions because there's so many at the same time none. Nothing really stands out. It's like an amalgam of like small little memories. I definitely what is a favorite? I have favorite shows, I guess, that I've done in theaters and stuff like that. Winnipeg, I the Winnipeg Comedy Festival that I did last year, that is probably the standout memory that's like the freshest in my mind is like a big theater, my first TV taping. But I guess throughout the career, I think honestly, it's the car rides, the long car rides with veteran comics, hearing their lore, hearing the story. I think to me, the magic happens after a show or just before it when you are just around a bunch of people who are professionally funny. And this is gonna sound super terrible, but like we all have our gossip that you don't talk about in public, but when it's just you, a private conversation, you and someone else, and you really get to know somebody that way, those I think are my favorite memories. Um, the complaints, I don't want to say the negativity. I try to stay positive, but I do kind of like
Oh,
relish
everybody loves hot gossip. Come
a little
on.
bit. It's
You
my life
know?
is too. My wife is too normal. My friends aren't cheating on each other. It's either listen to comics or watch Love is Blind or like any of those trashy dating shows. But when you're in the car with someone, it's kind of like, oh, I know these people for real, and
Uh,
it's a lot of fun. Yeah, as long as it's not you, I'm pretty sure there's something about me out there somewhere. I've probably rubbed people the wrong way at some point in my life. But yeah, I'd say just time with comics. I mean, it's yeah, the magic happens off stage as much as it does on stage as well.
Phenomenal, phenomenal. Well, DK, I can't thank you enough for your time. I think that
No
you're
problem.
absolutely wonderful, and I'm looking forward to seeing your shows.
Oh,
And
thank
you
you.
have a debut special coming out, eh?
Yes, so I'm still kind of in the planning process of it, but tentatively, it will be on September the 4th, which is my 40th birthday. I'll be doing a 40-minute set, so 40 for 40 at Comedy Bar at the Danforth location. So everything's almost set. I'm just in the phase of locking down a camera crew, just having it concreted, signing the contracts, and then yeah, it'll be my debut special that I toss out into the world and then scrap the old jokes and onto the new ones.
Phenomenal, phenomenal. And do you believe in that? Do you believe in retiring your jokes, or do you believe that you have certain hits that you need to bring back again and again?
You know what? I I don't know. I'm gonna try my best to write some new stuff. As I mean, we're constantly always writing, but those old jokes, they say your first special is the most precious because those are the jokes that grew up with you as a comic. They were there when you were a baby comic learning to walk, to when you do your first special, and they're the ones that are the most polished. They're the ones that you spent the most time on. They're the ones you love the most. And there will like some of them are going to be dated. It's to grow. I am going to have to write new stuff. I can't rely on the same, 45 minutes for the rest of my life and expect to become somebody. So it will be on, and you grow as a person too. You write what you know. I mean, there's jokes that aren't going to make it onto special. There's jokes where early in my career I was like, so I'm single and dating is hard, blah, 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 blah. And obviously not the case anymore. So not only is apparently like clubbing, from what I'm hearing about, not a thing anymore, which I have an old joke about and don't do anymore. Politics change, the world changes, how people party changes, dating changes, you change, your life changes. So, I can't really do jokes about proposing to my wife anymore because that's years in the past. I can do it as a distant memory of a joke, but the new jokes I write aren't going to be about wedding planning or anything like that. So, you got to grow as a person in the comic and just keep on writing.
Well, I'm excited to watch your special. Thank you so much for your time. If you can do one last thing for me, if
Absolutely.
you can say it loud, say it proud. I love Newsload.
All right, sure. I love Newsload. I want to have news load all over my face. I just want to unload my news load.
Oh, that'll make a great commercial. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Carrie.
This is the Newsload.